Bill Carroll, Zenny62 Media, and I'm still working through my 2024-2025 watch list. I'm going to walk you through some of the players that I'll be watching, and I think this is a player, once again, shout out to Jim Nagy. I'm about to bother him about this player throughout the season. I think this player deserves to be invited to the Senior Bowl. I think he's a top 10 wide receiver prospect in this country, and frankly, most people still haven't seen him play yet. And I am talking about Darius Cooper, a terrific all-around athlete in high school, also a terrific student in high school. Graduated magna cum laude from Hazelwood in beautiful Missouri, and he first gets from Hazelwood West to Tarleton, and as a freshman plays in 6 games. Has a reception of 11 yards against New Mexico State, also contributes a little bit on special teams. Then in his second freshman year, once again because of the COVID-19 situation, he is in 10 games, 38 yards and receptions, also a touchdown. Scored against Fort Lewis on the 11th of September on a 7-yarder. And of course, I first become aware of him in 2022. Academic All-WAC, also first team All-WAC. Academic All-District from the College Sports Communicators. 1,000-yard receiver and 54 receptions for 1,063 yards, 9 touchdowns in 11 games. Had obviously led the team. Also was the first player that they had since 2019 to do so. Was one of the top receiving players in the WAC. Third most in receiving yards in the entire FCS. Third most receiving touchdowns in the FCS, tied for 21st. Third most in the conference, tied for 21st in the FCS. Fourth most in receptions, had 500-yard games that season, which was tied for second most in the WAC. Had 191 yards and 9 catches and 2 touchdowns against Sam Houston State. Just absolutely beast mode against that team. 10 receptions, 170 yards against Utah Tech on November 12th. Also scored a touchdown in 7 of the 11 games, including 2 multi-touchdown performances, one against Southern Utah, which is once again a solid program, and then also had one against Sam Houston State. Just a terrific player, showed up every week and just looked great. Gonna come in when he's measured probably at just under 6 feet tall, probably about 188 to 191 pounds, somewhere in that range. Has some Nelson Aguilar to his game, maybe not quite as much long speed, but similar in a lot of other ways. And I know people make lots of jokes. He's maybe slightly better ball tracking, but physically similar and somewhat similar play style. Then last year, FCS preseason All-American, third team. Phil Steele's a hard grader. How he's third team is still a mystery to me, but terrific player. All-conference first team, even with Phil Steele. Academic All-WAC. Also, despite missing 4 games due to injury, still was tied for most receiving touchdowns of the team with 5. Had the second most receiving yards at 622, second most receptions at 28, and 10th most in receiving touchdowns in the conference. Also had 2 multi-touchdown games that season. So the injury sort of knocked him down a little bit. I'm expecting him to be right back at the top level again this year. What's not to like, frankly? Once again, this guy is solid in the classroom, high character player, explosive, has good hands, hasn't done as much recently in the return game, but is capable of helping the return game. Player I like a lot. And then next I'm going to talk about a recent transfer, or this past offseason, from Allen University to Clark, Atlanta. In interest of full disclosure, one of my favorite cousins, Brian Jenkins, is the station manager at WCAU. But despite that, I still can look at this player and see him fairly accurately. Depending on where you see him listed, sometimes 5'10", sometimes 5'9". 5'9" is close to the truth, maybe 5'8 3/4, probably about 184-ish pounds. But fast, tough, can do a little bit of everything. Had 11 assists and 24 solo tackles. Once again, you like to see that predominant number to be the solo tackles. Can play in the slot, can play outside, and can probably play a little bit sort of pseudo safety, maybe not a full-time safety. Also had a couple of tackles for loss, including a sack. They're not afraid to bring him occasionally on a blitz, and he understands how to time up blitzes. Also was able to record 3 interceptions and was one of the top pass defenders in terms of passes broken up with 16, which is one of the tops in D2 last year. Also blocked a kick. Now at Clark, I think they're going to move him around. He's probably going to play some in outside and inside for Clark. We'll see. I think this player is a terrific player. Once again, East-West Shrine Game is probably a good landing spot for him. But Dahlil Wilkins is a player. And while he might maybe have to work his way into the NFL, maybe he starts at one of those, developmental leagues, I wouldn't be afraid to bring him into camp and just see what I have. Maybe he doesn't get drafted just because, level competition, blah, blah, blah. But he is a really good player. Also done a little bit in special teams, 12 yards, obviously not very much last year in kickoff returns, but has done more in the past before. They predominantly just used him on defense most recently. Those are the 2 players I'm going through today. I'll have 2 more for you tomorrow. Once again, let me know what you think. Are there players that you'd like me to get to that I haven't? Do you disagree with some of my assessments? Once again, it's good to hear from you. This is Bill Carroll for Zenitix 2 Media, and I will see you again tomorrow.